If your holidays are anything like mine, I'll spend 24 days playing Elf on the Shelf with my kids. And on Christmas Eve, that final stretch when my nerves have been absolutely shot, I'll have taken them Christmas caroling, gone all around the neighborhood looking at Christmas lights. They'll be bathed and in their Christmas footed pajamas, and yet I still know it's not going to be enough to get them to go to sleep. I was at the dollar store earlier this week and it hit me. Bam! So I grabbed a 10.5-inch clear glass plate, and tonight we are going to create something magical to send them off to dreamland so we can graduate from Elf on the Shelf to Santa a whole lot faster. So grab your coffee and let's get to it. Okay, so let's go into Cricut Design Space. We're going to go into New Project. So the first thing we're going to do is create the template for my plate. So the thing we're going to need is a circle. So we're going to go into Shapes. We're going to pull up a circle here. And we're going to need 2 of them, one for the inside of my plate, one for the outside of my plate. So we're going to go up here to the plus sign. That's going to double our circles. So the first thing we're going to do is change the color. The first one we're going to make white. The second one we're going to make gray. That way it's not confusing as to which one I'm working with. So now that we have them, I'm going to resize them. The white one, I'm going to make 10.5 inches. There we are. So we've got the white one. Now the gray one is going to be 6.42. Now I need to center them. So I'm going to Control, click on both circles, Align, Center. Now the second thing I'm going to do is slice them. Now that they're both highlighted, I'm going to slice. So I'm going to go up here to the center one, which is the white one, and I'm going to get rid of it. So now I have 2 separate ones. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rename these so it's easier to find them. So I'm going to right click on it, rename it, slice result. The white one will be outside plate, enter. And the other one is going to be inside plate. There we go. So now I don't have a problem. Now I'm going to move these apart. So they're separate items. So the gray one I'm going to put aside because I'm not going to use that for a while. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so it's easier to work. So my gray one I'm going to put aside. Now the white one is the outside edge of my plate, which is where my wording is going to go. So I'm going to go over here to text and I'm going to type cookies. While it's highlighted, I'm going to go up to font and I'm going to choose my font, which is TBrush, TEEBRUSH, enter. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to change my font. I can get rid of this box. I'm going to go to font size and I'm going to change it to 106.98, enter. Then I'm going to go over to the curve and I'm going to change that to 70, enter. So now I have my font size, and my curve. Now I'm going to move it over to the edge of my plate. Now here on this edge of the box, if I click on this, it's going to change the size. I don't want to do that, so make sure you're careful. I'm going to go to the edge of it where you see my curve. I'm going to turn it. Now this is important. You're going to line it up so that the letters don't touch the edge of the plate here, because the last step that I'm going to do on this project is put a material on it that's going to leave this engraved onto the plate. And that material can get under these letters after they've been weeded. So just line them up so that the letters don't touch the edge of the plate. While this is highlighted, I'm going to Control, go over to the outside plate, click on that, go down to Slice, and it's going to put the words up here, Slice Result and Slice Result. I'm going to hit Control, highlight both of those, and go to the trash can. That's what you want to see because that's going to give us our stencil. So now we're going to go to our next word. So you're going to go back over here to the text box and you're going to write the word for. You're going to go to font size. It's going to be 106.98. Enter. This time you're going to change the curve to 76. Enter. And again, you're going to put it over on the side. And this time you're going to turn the letters again, making sure that they don't touch the edge. So while it's still highlighted, you're going to click on Control and the inside plate or slice result and go down here to slice once again. It sliced it. You're going to go back up to the top, Control, click on both of the 4 words and the trash can. And again, you have the word for. Now you're going to go back over here to text and you're going to type the word Santa. It has the same font for you. Go over here to font size, 106.98. Enter. Go over here to curve, and this time you're going to have the font going in the opposite direction. So you're going to click on the 0, and it's going to be -65. Enter. So it's curving up this time. You're going to put that at the bottom of the plate, once again, making sure the letters don't touch the edge of the plate. While it's still highlighted, click Control, Slice Result, highlight them both, go down here to Slice. And now that it's gone, you're going to click on Control, click on both of the slice results, and Trash. So now you have all of your words done. We're going to move this out of the way. I'm going to put that aside, and we're going to work on the gray circle this time. So now this is where our image is going to go. So we're going to click on Image. And up here, we're going to put in the Santa image that we're going to use. I already have mine picked, so we're going to hit Control V for me, and it's going to put up the number that you need. This is the image it's going to pull up. So you're going to click on that one and add to canvas. Now we're going to resize it. You're going to pull it aside. Make sure your padlock is locked. Go into the width, and you're going to put in 4.559. Enter. There we go. Now we're going to put him up here. We're going to highlight both of them. And we're going to go into Align, Center. He's going to put it in the center there. And we're going to hit Slice. Now we're going to, again, Control, top and top, both slice results, and Trash. Now he has been sliced. Now we're going to go to Select All, Align and Center, and Attach. Okay, so now your project is ready to go to the Cricut. So you can be sure by looking at the attached, and it's highlighted. So the other way you can be sure is by clicking on your project and moving it around. Okay, so we're ready to send it to the Cricut. You're going to go up top here and choose your machine. I'm using the Cricut Maker 3, so I'm going to click on that. Now that we've chosen that, we're going to click Make It. So now we're in a different screen. In this screen, we're going to choose our material load type. And in this option, you're going to choose without a mat or with a mat. If you're using smart vinyl, you're going to choose without a mat. I'm using regular vinyl, so I'm going to choose on mat. You're also going to choose your material size. Because this is a larger project, we're going to be using 12 by 12 vinyl. You can choose a different size if you're using larger vinyl or smaller vinyl. I'm choosing 12 by 12. The other option you have is the mirror option. You can choose the information button. That's going to tell you that you're going to use this if you're using an iron-on. We are not doing that, so we're going to leave the mirror option off. Now, the other thing I like to do is put my project in the middle of the mat. That way I know for absolute sure Cricut's not going to accidentally cut off any of my project. So I put it in the middle. Now the next step is to go to Continue. That's going to bring up another screen. In here, if you've forgotten what size material you need, you can scroll over top of this picture here and it'll bring up your picture again. Now, because I put mine in the middle, it's going to show that my project's nearly 12 by 12. That's fine. Now, in this screen, you're going to choose to set your base material. Now, because I do several different projects, I've already bookmarked several different types of material. So mine is already chosen. I'm using a matte vinyl. But for you, you can go into Browse All Materials, go up to All Categories, scroll down to Vinyl, and in here, it's going to list all the different types of vinyl material that Cricut uses. So I would choose matte vinyl, go down to Done, click on that, and it's going to bring you up to this screen. Now, because you've already chosen your material, it's going to give you a pressure option. Now, I choose default, but if your material isn't being cut through all the way, you can choose more. Or if your blade is cutting through your material and into your mat, you can choose less pressure. I choose default. Now let's go down to option 2. This is where you load your tools and materials. In Clamp A, there are no tools required. This is usually used for cards, such as your score tool or a marker. Because we're not doing a card, we don't need to have anything in Clamp A. Now in Clamp B, it's going to tell you to load your fine point blade. Mine is already loaded, but you may need to do that at this step. The next step is to load your mat and press the Start button. Go ahead and get ready to do this, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you down to my desk and show you the vinyl that I'm using and how I put it onto my standard grip Cricut mat. So let's go to my desk and I'll show you now. So here we have what I'm using. I'm using Oracle 631 vinyl. I've chosen to use black, and I'm using the Cricut standard grip mat. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off the clear protective cover. I'm going to set that aside, and I take my vinyl and I put it up as close to the corners as I possibly can. This is a brand new mat, so it's relatively sticky, but I put it pretty close to the corners here. This is usually a lot easier, but I have a microphone in my face, so please forgive me if I'm not exactly right. There we go. I'm going to press it down with my hand first. And because I can't get all the air bubbles out with my hand, I'm going to grab a brayer and I'm going to go over it a couple of times. And this gets all the air bubbles out. So you're going to go over it just like that. You're going to go from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. And you can look at it and make sure all your air bubbles are out. The more air bubbles you get out initially, the better off you are, because that way you don't have to worry about your blade getting caught on anything and making any mistakes. The next thing you can do is grab a Cricut scraper and go over it once again. And that's going to assure that your vinyl is stuck down the best that you can do it. The better you do it this step, the better off your Cricut project's going to come out. So let's go ahead and I'll meet you at the Cricut. You're going to make sure your Cricut mat is lined up directly under your guides. You're going to go ahead and press your button, and it's going to pull it into the Cricut. And as soon as it lines everything up, it's going to pull it in. It's going to align everything, and it's going to tell you when it's ready by lighting up the play button, and we're going to hit the play button, and it's going to do all of the work for you. This is the recovery part of my program. I am in recovery from drugs and alcohol. I'm working what's called a 12-step program in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I have what's called a sponsor, and she's going to explain what 12 steps are, and she's going to explain what a sponsor is. My sponsor is Denise, so say hi, Denise.
Hi, everyone. I am Denise, and what 12 steps are: admitting that you're powerless over alcohol, drugs, or any mind-altering substance, and realizing that your life is unmanageable. You have to come to believe in a power greater than you, and then you have to continue with the steps and turn your life over to God. Then you have to clean out the wreckage of your past so that you can, make an amends. Make sure that after you do that, you can hold your head up high, and walk with a new purpose. And then you continue on until you get to step 12. And step 12, by then you should have a spiritual awakening. And you should be able to sponsor others, which basically a sponsor is just somebody who helps, another person go through the steps so that they can reach recovery and maintain it and be there for their support, moral support or whatever they may be, or just that phone call that, sometimes the phone feels like it's £1,000,000, but sometimes you just got to have that one person, in your corner. And normally that one person in your corner is a sponsor that you can call and just vent to.
Denise has made a huge difference in my life. I've been able to start working the steps. I admitted I was powerless over drugs and alcohol. That was a big step for me. I came to believe in a power greater than myself. I found Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior 3.5 years ago. And now I'm working step 3, which is surrender. And for me, that is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. So surrendering to a God that was used against me has never been something I've been able to do. And now that I am working step 3, it's bringing up past childhood trauma. So it's so hard for me to surrender to God. And I'm learning how. And Denise is helping me through that. And Carrie has been an amazing support through that. And it's been incredibly difficult, but I'm working it every day. And I will probably always be on step 3. But as I work the step, then I'll be able to work the steps further on. But if I don't work step 3 every day, I won't be able to work the further steps, in which I will relapse again. And I don't ever want to relapse again. I want to work recovery every day. And I know that by making these videos, I'll be able to reach somebody else out there that's struggling, saying, I may not be able to do it today, but I want you guys to know that it's worth it. Every single day that you guys have sober, every single day that you may be using, but say, I want to get sober. I want you guys to know that it's worth it. Every single day is worth it. Your life is worth it. It's so hard some days, but every day that we fight, every day that we surrender, every day that we take that next breath, somebody's life is worth fighting for. Our lives are worth fighting for.
My best piece of advice would be, don't ever feel like you're too lost or you're too broken to not deserve recovery. Every one of us, regardless of where we've been and what we've done, we all deserve recovery. And it's all possible for all of us, each and every one of us. As long as we hang on. It's the main thing. Hang on.
Denise, would you be willing to pray for everyone?
Absolutely. Dear Father God, come to you humbly, Lord. I ask you to please bless those that are watching, those that feel that they have no value, Lord. Show them that they have value, and they have value in you, and that you are more than enough to conquer whatever chain may be wrapped around us. And Lord, I just pray for peace. Peace for everybody. And the loving hand that you touch each and every soul. This I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Denise. If you're struggling today, reach out to somebody because your life is worth it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I remove the vinyl off of my mat. I'm going to flip it over. This way it doesn't wrinkle as easily. So I just peel the corner with the backing still on the vinyl, and I slowly peel it off of the mat. It's a little harder for me because this is a brand new mat. Okay, so I'm going to peel it off nice and slow. You don't want to wrinkle it too much. All right, so here we go. Okay, sorry, I had to adjust my camera. Okay, so now we're going to peel away the letters that we don't need because this is where we're going to etch this onto our plate. So I'm just putting the excess onto a spare piece of paper over here so they're out of the way so they don't get stuck onto anything. So this is a relatively quick process, but you don't want to take the inside part here because that's going to leave our letter behind. So you're just going to be a little gentle with it. There we go. So nothing terrible here. Weeding's actually one of my favorite things to do. Sometimes in recovery, my brain tends to wander. So weeding helps me to get rid of those stray thoughts, you know, when your brain just simply won't shut off. So I actually enjoy this. A lot of people don't. Carrie doesn't. Carrie absolutely hates it. I look up to Carrie for absolutely everything. She is like my go-to.
Yeah, weeding's not one of those things.
Weeding
though.
is not it.
I'm just not good at it. But it's something that Penelope absolutely loves to do. So we're able to give you this whole new crafting area with the Cricut. So
Now that I'm back,
yeah,
I was gone for about 3 months.
some people may think that's not a long time, but for somebody who's using it, it's definitely a long time, long enough.
Before I went off on my little hiatus, Carrie and I were together every day. So for me to be gone for 3 months, it was just devastating to both of us.
It was rough. When you're used to hearing from someone every morning, you know, hey, I'm having a good day, or hey, I'm having a bad day, or, you know, just whatever it is that she'll text in the morning. I would get those text messages every day for 4 years, and then they just stopped. So there's a level of concern there, and wasn't a moment. I mean, from the sobriety part of it, I don't have a substance use disorder.
For Carrie not having any sort of personal knowledge of addiction, you'll never meet somebody that has any more idea what somebody with a substance use disorder goes through. She has the most hands-on knowledge you could ever want from somebody.
There's a lot more awareness now. A lot more needs to happen, but there's a lot more awareness now than used to be.
You know, when we were growing up, it wasn't something you talked about. It just wasn't.
Your
and
stencil's
now,
looking good.
Stencil's looking really good. Yeah, when I was away, I did not do any work with any of this. So now the reason I'm going to cut the words separate is it just makes it easier. That way you don't have to worry about crinkles as you're trying to put the entire thing on your plate. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to clean the plate with alcohol. And that gets rid of fingerprints, it gets rid of dust, and it preps the plate so that you don't have any contaminants on it. You need a lint-free cloth, which I have right here, and some rubbing alcohol. So I'm just going to rub the plate down, and it dries really fast. There's like nothing left on it now. So the only other thing I'm going to need is my transfer sheets. And I personally use a big roll of it because it stores easier. This is going to go over top. You know, I'm going to do just one at a time. And what this is going to do is it's going to cover your letters and it's going to help you transfer your vinyl onto your plate. So now this, again, you're going to use your scraper to get all of your letters secured to your vinyl. There we go. Now you're going to peel it up. You're going to take your white backing off. And it's going to look like this on the front and on the back. So you're going to put it around the edge of the plate. There we are. That looks good. And if you need to, and your vinyl isn't going on right, or your transfer tape seems to be in the way, you can actually go ahead and cut some of this vinyl away, some of the transfer tape away, and pull the transfer tape off. You may have to hold your vinyl down. And then you pull your transfer tape away. You want to make sure that the inside letter stays behind the inside of the O. So you're going to do it nice and slow. Okay, so as you're doing it, you're going to hold down the vinyl, roll it away, making sure all your vinyl stays behind. You may need to use your scraper if it's coming up in some areas, because this is the part we're going to etch. So we want to make sure it's as secure to the plate as possible. There we go. We're going to repeat that with all of our words. Okay, now let's get your Santa on. Now I have the transfer sheet on it. Now we're going to peel our backing off. Now we're going to get him as centered as we can so his beard is over top of the N. There we go. Now we're going to get him placed down. Now with him, we want to make sure all of his beard and all of his outside edges are down. So we're going to use our scraper. And you'll know he's down because the transfer tape will be the same color as your vinyl. So we're going to scraper him down. I know, I probably just created a word. That's all right. Scraper. Yeah. There we go. I know, that's probably a horrible sound.
That's what I was just going to say. I think she's trying to create music over there. It's like a big giant guitar pick.
The better you get him down, the less peeling you have to do from the back.
Yeah, and you won't accidentally wind up with his eyeballs off or his nose.
There we go. Now we're going to take the edge of our transfer tape and we're going to start to peel it off.
Now, the tighter you hold your transfer tape to where that part that she's pulling is almost folded and rolling back, that's the best way to remove the transfer sheet from the vinyl. It puts less pull on the vinyl itself so it doesn't disconnect from the plate. And she's got a stubborn piece there.
I do.
What is that, the corner of his beard? Yeah.
Corner of his beard.
Now, if she can't get that up, what she'll do is she'll pull from the other side, but she actually got it to stick. A lot of times, those little corners, they like to stay stuck. So if you can't get that to release, you can pull the transfer sheet in a different direction and just come back down to it, pulling from the opposite side, and it'll stay. This is the trick that she's always used, is putting the transfer behind the scraper or in front of the scraper. Looks pretty good so far. This is such a neat project.
It's usually just the corners.
The ornaments and stuff, the floating ornaments and stuff that we do with those little tiny pieces that of vinyl that you need to get on acetate, that drives me insane.
Those are my favorite.
I do not enjoy weeding those at all. I know a lot of people don't enjoy weeding them. There's all kinds of like tips and tricks I can give you, but I cannot say they work for me. slow, steady patience is what you need to work with vinyl, I think.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Well, I was glad when they came out with smart material because it comes off so easy.
And there's Santa.
Yeah.
Now we can go back over him with our scraper, make sure we get all the bubbles out.
Yeah, you need to make sure that all of those edges are really adhered down. Once she puts the armor etch on, it's game over. If it lifts up, you're not going to be able to fix it. Etching doesn't come, you can't erase it.
Now, I know I told you make sure you don't have bubbles if they're in the center of the vinyl, but they're not by your letters, they're not by your edges. You don't have to worry about it. Like here, I have bubbles, so I'm going to get rid of those.
Yeah, because this isn't staying. This vinyl's coming off once the armor etch sets and etches the glass. It's such a cool thing to watch that stuff work.
Go around your edges here. And I know I told you earlier not to get fingerprints on your plate. When you're doing the vinyl, you don't really have a choice. But the one thing we're going to be able to do now that we have all our vinyl down is we're going to be able to go over it again with our alcohol and we can wipe it again.
Pause.
I like to wipe it down anyway.
Right. Here we go. He's looking good. Push the plate up a little bit in camera, love. There you go. Penny has more equipment in her face than I do because I'm up at a high table. She's at a desk. She likes working from a desk. So everything is kind of crammed in front of her little face. I'll have to show him one day with you in front of the microphone.
We took our Sky Cam that we had at one point and it's now our Cricut Cam. So the alcohol is almost completely evaporated and we're going to move on to our next step, which is where we are going to armor etch everything. So I'm going to take just a second and I'm going to get everything set up for our armor etch.
2.
Okay, so we're back here. As you can see, I put some painter's tape around my Santa just to make sure that I don't get any armor etch outside of the etching area that I want to do. So now we have our armor etch. As you can see here, and I have my paintbrush. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. And we're only going to etch in the areas that are the clear areas here in the cookies, the 4, the Santa, and in the Santa's face. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a relatively thick coating so we can't see through it in all of our letters. We want to do it relatively quickly because we only have about 3 minutes to get it completely set. So we're going to do the whole area. Make sure you completely cover the letters, but don't get it outside of the letters. It's fine to get it on the vinyl, but not outside of the vinyl. So we're going to continue this throughout the entire area that we're trying to etch here. Just like this. So relatively thick coating. And once you've got all of your letters and your Santa covered, you're going to wait for 3 minutes and then you're going to wash it off with just water. So you're going to keep it just like this. And what this is going to do is it's going to etch these letters into your plate. And they will not, after you've washed it off, this will be permanent on your plate. So you're going to have this for the rest of your life. So when you put this plate out on Christmas Eve, your kids are going to be able to see that it says Cookies for Santa with the Santa face. And they're going to go ahead and put their cookies on it for Santa. So it's going to be something they're going to treasure for the rest of their lives. They can actually pass this down to their kids if they want to.
And so that's how you get them to go to bed.
This is how you're going to get them to go to bed. because they're going to want to get up in the morning and see that Santa ate all their cookies off their plate that says cookies for Santa. This is how I get my kids to go to bed. So it's really, not only do you enjoy making it for them, but it's something they're going to treasure. So it's been fun. I enjoy making them. I actually made several sets for people last year. We're going to be making more sets for people this year, just as gifts, because it's something that people enjoy having.
Well, when you say set, there's also a bowl that she does that she puts a reindeer on and calls it reindeer food, and she puts oatmeal in it with some kind of edible glitter. And then you have, what else do you have?
A mug that says cocoa for Santa.
Yeah, so there's more to the collection. And she is, if you want to send your email address to her, she can actually send you a copy of her SVG files. We don't have our website up yet. It's still in the works, so we can't offer it that way. So she's willing to email that to you, and she'll give you her email address.
It's scissorstopaper@gmail.com. So if you guys are interested, there you go. scissorstopapercrafting@gmail.com. So if you guys are interested in that, you can let us know, and we'd be happy to send you that. So, I really hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm enjoying making it with you. It's been a lot of fun. I'll be able to show this to you as soon as it's done.
Yeah, because after this, it's rinse and done, right?
It's rinse and done right after this.
You can apply color to it as well with a marker. They have special glass dye inks or glass ink that you can buy at Michael's or any craft store that you can put on this. Now you would think that the Armour Etch, since it's like etching glass, it would eat through the vinyl, but it doesn't. It doesn't like vinyl. It only likes glass. Kind of looks like Elmer's glue, I always think. It doesn't have a really strong odor, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have some kind of protective eyewear on while you're doing this. I should put your face cam on, but I won't because you said you'd hurt me so they can see your eyewear.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks.
I think I'm going to do it anyway.
Thanks.
Give me something interesting to look at. There she is with her protective eyewear.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, we try to be safety conscious here.
Well, these are glass lenses. So if you got any up here, you would actually etch your eyewear. So that's pretty funny. It doesn't. Does it etch plastic? I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
Or acrylic. We've done vases. What else have you done with this stuff?
We did a set of glasses with a sports team logo on it last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for my kid for Christmas. You've done you did the pastor appreciation candy dishes too.
Yes, we did that.
She's done Mother's Day gifts. All kinds of cool stuff you can. I mean, you just the uses for this stuff is just amazing what you can come up with. Now you can't etch tempered glass with these. they say that the glass will actually crack or other funky things will happen to it. So if you think about putting this on like a computer case or something that has a glass see-through side, make sure it's not tempered glass. It does not work on tempered glass. But I have heard that it works. I haven't tried this myself, but I have heard that it works on some ceramic though. Doesn't it, Pen?
I've heard that. I have not tried it. Okay, so we've got it completely covered now. We're going to wait 3 minutes. Then we're going to rinse it off, and I'm going to come back here and show you how to just peel the vinyl off, and you'll see the final product. Okay, so we've washed the etching armor off with just water, and our project is ready to have the vinyl and the tape taken off so you can see the final product. Carrie has it on her desk now.
I feel like Vanna White.
She's got the brand new camera.
Oh, I do. I have that 4K beauty. I'm the first one in the office to get it. It was a gift from my child. My daughter got it for me. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, so just taking the vinyl off. Seriously, you just pull it. You just pull it all off. It comes off pretty cleanly. Make sure you wash this with some dish soap. I don't know if Penelope mentioned that, but you definitely want to rinse the armor etch off. Wash it with some dish soap. It doesn't
After you take the vinyl off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it did anything until you start pulling the vinyl off, and then you can begin to really see that beautiful etching in there. This wouldn't show up on Penelope's camera. Sometimes webcams just don't like to show up certain details and stuff. So, all right, let's get it pulled off. It's coming off pretty easy. See, I may not be able to weed, but I sure can pull some vinyl off until I get to this. You don't want to use a scraper tool or anything, or a pick or anything metal to pull it off. You could scratch your plate. So fingernails help here. Or like Penelope did, she put these little flimsy edges over the top so that you could really grab a hold of it and just pull it all off. That usually helps. I don't know if she mentioned that when she was putting it on, or if she even realized she did it, but she did. She cut him a little close here, which is why it had a bunch of tape on it. But that comes from habit, I think, because you're always cutting vinyl real close when you're doing other stuff, and you've been working on ornaments and stuff, so that's probably why you did it. I'm over here making excuses for you.
Thanks.
No problem. I love the reveal. I do. Okay, Pen, it doesn't want to come off, so now what do I do?
Just pull.
There's nothing to pull. Oh, here we go. She lets the girl with the arthritis fingers.
That's because you got the best camera.
Ah, so get one. Christmas is coming.
Yeah, I'll tell my kids.
Okay, that's, my daughter told me she said, Mom, this is your birthday present, your Christmas present. And I think she mentioned a couple other holidays in there.
Yeah, I think Mother's Day, St. Patrick's Day.
No, she didn't say Mother's Day. She did not say Mother's Day. She did not. Usually I get a special breakfast on Mother's Day from her. This year we went to she's a baker. She works at a bakery. She's a baker too, but she works at a bakery, and I got to go there for coffee. They have all kinds of good coffees there. She is I don't know what do they call her? Coffee barista. She makes
barista.
Barista, that's the word I was after. She's a barista. And she has a home espresso maker as well. And her drinks are phenomenal. She's also a video game nut. She has her own Twitch channel, A Sassy San. I play with her sometimes. Dad and I do. We play a couple games with her. Fun. So if you see, she doesn't tag scissors to paper in it, but she tags me in the videos all the time. I can't get it off. I can't grip it is my problem. There we go. Yay. And I'll pull the tag off the bottom. Oh, I got to get the one out of his mouth. Boy, the one on the bottom does not want to come off. It has to go, though. Well, no. We're going to have to get that with the dishwasher, I guess. Oh, that sound. Okay. Now's when it needs dish soap. But look at that. Look how cute. Isn't that adorable? We got cookies, 4, and Santa. And then Santa's in the middle. You can't really see him if I do that, can you? There he is. All right, guys, that's it. That's the craft for this week's video. And as always, happy crafting!